Yes, this is Seriously Speaking. My name remains Adesuwa Onyenokwe. I'm doing this whole month because it's the Women's Month. I must remind you that I am a woman, very much so. In 2014, I was the Vlisco Woman of the Month. So because it's the month of women, the whole of this month, I'm wearing Vlisco outfits. And my designers are releasing some great stuff for me. So on the show today, I'm going to be on the panel all through. Because hashtag Leave No Woman Behind, Press for Progress is what the theme for this year's Women's Month is. And I don't want any woman to be left behind when it comes to things like cancer, diseases that if you find out early enough, whether it's of the breast or the cervix or wherever, you can save yourself. Apart from living well, when you have it, you can save yourself. So I have people, two sets of people, some people from Lagos, from Ibadan, that work in this field that will educate you on the show today. So please don't go away. We'll be back. Yes. Welcome back. I had to be sure I had my statistics right before I opened this show. Statistics tell me that 100,000 new cases of breast cancer is being recorded in Nigeria today, and 14,000 new cases of cervical cancer are being recorded. I have two specialists in the house, specialists to the extent that they work in this field, and they can corroborate it for me. But even if they don't, I do know people who've survived. My mother survived breast cancer. So I'm glad to introduce to you Ebun, a friend, one of the earliest, in fact, you're the earliest person that started anything about awareness about breast cancer. Ebun is the founder of COPE, and Ebun is here in the studio with me. Let me introduce them very quickly. Ebun is the founder of COPE. Dr. Shola works with an NGO in Ibadan that works in access to basic care, basic health care, right in Ibadan. Welcome to Seriously Speaking.
Thank you very much.
Do I have to tell you welcome?
Yeah.
Welcome, Ebun,
Sure,
my sister.
you.
And then I have two survivors of both diseases. Are they diseases?
Yes, they are.
Okay,
Yeah.
of both diseases. Cervical cancer, on my extreme left, I have Falake, who's a teacher in Ibadan. I'm glad that you made it here from Ibadan in short notice. I appreciate you for coming. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then, of course, my sister, Trinita. I only met her an hour before this show, actually, because we gave her a call and says, look, we need somebody who survived breast cancer. And Ebun says, I know one person who's very, very funky. Doesn't look like... So, Trinita, you're welcome to Seriously Speaking.
Thank you.
It's nice to have you. But let me set the tone by asking Ebun to tell me why COPE became necessary. And if anybody goes to your website, they will see the video about how your mother had cancer, your father had cancer, and you still don't have cancer. Tell me about it.
Yeah, my mother had colorectal. You know, my father had cancer of the stomach. So I had a scare. That was when I was on vacation in the United States, and I quickly went to have it checked. And
This was in 1990-something.
This was in 1995, you know, so I was given a clean bill of health, and I decided to leave my banking world to start COPE in 1995, and that has been it. I'm very passionate about it, and I thank God that I've been able to reach out to quite a lot of women.
Dr. Shola, it's because of you, possibly, and your work, of your NGO, that this woman is alive. So tell me about the NGO and what you guys do.
Okay, we are Access to Basic Medical Care Foundation. We are founded by Her Excellency Mrs. Adejumobi, and we started work in 2012. We do two areas of medicine: primary care. We provide free primary care services for women in rural and underserved areas.
So they can walk into the clinic.
So they can walk in and get free health care. And then we're also a cancer advocacy group. We provide cancer screening services. We do routine outreaches to educate women about cancer and then to screen them.
It's one of those outreaches that Falake came out of.
Yes.
But what I would like to corroborate, though, is that is it true that many cases are still being reported today? I'm surprised.
I think they're even underreported because many of them don't report to the hospital, and most of the figures we have are hospital-based data.
Okay, I'll come to Trinita now, because Trinita's story is pretty interesting because she found the lump herself. I would have thought that by now, many women would know the basic things. If people like Ebun have been working for 20-something years and women are still not examining themselves, would you say that fear still remains there?
Yes, I would. Like I said, there's a saying that says, what you don't know would not hurt you. Ignorance is bliss. So a lot of women would not check themselves because they just don't want to find out that something is wrong. But in the long run, we find out that the earlier you find out, the better for you.
Was that your case?
That is exactly my case. I check myself regularly. there's been awareness every day, the news, media, and NGOs. Of course, my mother too was a victim of breast cancer, so we knew early enough to check ourselves, and that's where I found it. The lump was there, and...
Does any of your siblings have the same thing?
Yes.
Okay.
And we're all good.
You're all good?
Yes.
So when you found out, I mean, your own case, you checked and you saw it, and then did you scream?
I didn't.
Why?
I didn't. I don't know. I just wasn't afraid. Somehow I wished it wasn't what it ended up being, but I'm grateful that I caught it up early.
I'll come back to you on that. I like that it wasn't what it ended up being, meaning that in the first time you didn't think that. It was just the lump. It starts with the lump.
The first time the test even said it wasn't. 2 different tests said it wasn't.
Okay, let me go to your case. It was, when is a party, you say, Mogbomuya. That's what Yoruba we say, I heard. And then I went there. I branched, It was, you were like branched. They were doing something. I said, let me just go and try. Tell me about it.
Well, it wasn't Mogbomuya.
It was deliberate.
It wasn't deliberating, actually. When there's a program going on and I learned there's a screening for women, well, it's an opportunity.
Was it screening for everything? Or was this screening for cervical cancer in particular?
Actually, for both breast and the cervix. And I felt it's an opportunity for me. I just had that intuition within me. I should go in for this, and I opted to go in. I went in there and I was checked up. Madam, you will need to go for further checkup.
Did your heart beat?
Maybe. I can't remember now.
That's more than a year ago. About a year ago.
Yes. That should be, almost a year now. So when it happened, I didn't take it seriously, but then I felt, to be on the safe side, I need to go for further checkup, which I did.
And then they told you you had cancer of the cervix.
And when I was told, my voice was shaking at that time, that particular point, I was scared.
I must say, typically,
I became scared.
Because cancer of the cervix is related to sexuality. Doctor?
Cervical cancer, in most cases in developing countries, is caused by prolonged infection with a virus called the human papilloma virus, which
all of us have.
Yes. 80% of women come in contact with that virus. Yes. But most times...
Who are the carriers of that virus?
Everybody, male, female, anybody can carry the virus. But the body's immune system deals with most of the cases. So usually when women become sexually active, they contract the virus and then the immune system deals with it. But in some women, it doesn't, the pattern doesn't go as expected. So the virus stays and then triggers mechanisms that lead to cervical cancer.
And that virus can only stay in the cervix. Can't it go somewhere else?
Well, there are different types.
I'm like, why did you choose the cervix to go and sit
Well,
in?
there are different types of human papilloma virus. In fact, there are over 100 types of the virus, and about 14 to 16 of them cause cervical cancer. Human papilloma virus causes warts, genital warts, oral warts. You could have, even on the face, in the mouth, on the thighs, you could have warts. So human papilloma, it's not just
So we should watch
cancer.
it. Okay, I'm doing this because I need people to know that they must go for screening.
Yeah.
If you've been making noise about breast cancer all this while, and still we are reporting this kind of number of cases, do you feel frustrated? And I wonder why you haven't given up all this time.
Occasionally I do, I remember many times I'll just say, look, I'm not interested anymore. And I go back again because somebody needs me and all. Most women do not take their health seriously. We're more interested in Ashwebi, We're more interested in, which is true. We're more interested in having our makeup done, having nice shoes. I always say to women, why don't you wear something 1,000 naira on a healthy body rather than have 100,000 naira worth of attire on an unhealthy body? So it's very, very important that we take our health seriously. What would it cost you? Maybe about 3 minutes to check your breast, do your breast self-examination. How long will it take you to do breast ultrasound scan? Less than 5 minutes. Mammogram, less than... The cost for, we do that. We do both clinical breast examination and breast ultrasound scan for 3,000 naira.
That's because you're an NGO.
Yes, we're an NGO. It's heavily subsidized. There's no profit being made there, because we have organizations that are partnering with us. So we encourage women to come and have their breast examined every third Saturday of the month. But
That's
some will
interesting
tell
to
you
know.
that they have a party, they have, quite a lot of reasons. They just give you lame excuses. And by the time they have it, they're asking you to help them raise money to save their lives.
Okay, well, fair enough. I'll take a break. Maybe you don't understand because you've not had breast cancer. I'll take a break, and maybe because you are aware, very much aware, and you've lost 2 people. When I return, I will take on the survivors themselves to see whether there's something they can say that can make us understand why we must always check ourselves. I'll be right back. Yes, welcome back. Yes, it's nice to say that, well, if you find it, it will make it easy. Make it easier for them to treat it. But I wonder there must be something much more that's keeping people away from going to even check. Trinita, you are a triplet. Too. She's a triplet. There are 2 other girls with you.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yes, a lot of people would rather not know, and they would prefer to live in denial. But this is not me. I'll take a typical example.
Oh, it's not my portion.
It's not my portion. I heard a lot of that during my diagnosis and treatment. I heard a lot of, it's not my portion, God forbid. I'm going to go and pray. I'll use anointing oil. And
On
if
you?
go,
People told you to do that?
oh, several times. Don't go for surgery. You don't need it. Believe in God, it's going to happen. Now, I'm a faith-based person. But I also know that God created medicine to heal and to save lives. And so that was why I didn't think twice about going through with my treatment. I was even asking my doctor, can we take both of them off? And he was like, there's no need. So I'm going to tell women that it's really not a death sentence. When you go for your treatment, the most important thing is early detection, really and truly. That is the most important thing. Early detection does save life.
What about cost of care? Because, I know, for example, in Nigeria, I'll come back to you now. Is there any radiation, to do radiation, for example, assuming you find I had cancer, the one in Luth, does it work? The one in Ibadan, does it work?
We know that the least you can pay for treatment of cancer is about $1 million. That's the least. And we have surgery, we have chemotherapy, radiotherapy, even immunotherapy. But what we're trying to say is this. Cancer is an individual disease. The treatment for patient A is quite different from patient B. There are times, even if you have to go for surgery, you might not be able to until you have chemotherapy done to shrink it before the surgeon can go in there. And if you go early, there are times you don't really need to have chemo done. You probably might go for radiotherapy. Unfortunately, we have the linear accelerator radiotherapy machines. They're all dead. But I think recently we have the federal government said that we have acquired about 2 new ones. We say thank God to that. But it's very important that we should realize that it is not one for all and all for one. That's the treatment.
Did cost worry you, for example, when they told you that you had cancer of the cervix? Did you worry about how am I going to treat it?
Yes,
Who's going to pay for this?
Yeah, I did. Because at that time, I didn't have up to 200,000 in my account. But I just had faith. And then I surrounded myself with good people who can encourage me. I have my sister there, my husband is there, and these people are always saying, don't worry, you can survive this.
So, well, I must say, that's the end of the show. But I must thank you for coming. I appreciate your time. And you too, Trinita. We'll continue after this. Sure. Thank you, my sister, for always being there. And thank you, Shola, for coming. Although I called you a baby doctor at the beginning, I take my word back.
I'm good.
I take my word back. You're an intelligent doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for watching. We'll see you again next week. Good night.